CBS Monday.
Starting to climb closer to those spring-like temperatures. I'll have your full details on the first weekend of spring coming up next.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Hodge. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, we'll hear from a nationally recognized health leader and member of the Navajo Nation as she shares a unique perspective on hope and healing. Plus, more funding is coming for the organizations who put on county fairs in the state. We'll hear how it's meant to improve water infrastructure. And Vice President J.D. Vance made a trip to Michigan today. This as Democrats in the state blast the Trump administration for rising costs. Your 19 News at 11 starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
And welcome back. A first look on your forecast getting close to the weekend, and it's going to kick off spring for the weekend. It may not feel like it though, but this is just that time of the year where that tug of war and the arm wrestle continues between winter and spring. It was definitely winter-esque today. 10 degrees below average. Average is 36 and we only hit 26 and less than an inch of snow, but we know we're still trying to get those major snow piles out of here. We'll see if Mother Nature can help us out with some sunshine and some warmer temperatures for this weekend in just a few short minutes.
Kelly, thank you very much. A nationally recognized rural healthcare provider shared a unique perspective on illness and end-of-life care tonight at the Marquette Regional History Center. Our own John Truitt has the details.
A conversation about life's most difficult moments took center stage tonight with a focus on culture, compassion, and community. Dr. Sofina Calderon, Chief Medical Officer for the Keweenaw Bay Indian Community, held a free public presentation titled Fear and Hope, an Indigenous perspective on illness and health. Dr. Calderon is widely recognized for her work in rural healthcare, bringing both medical expertise and cultural insight into how people experience serious illness and end-of-life care.
Not so much of a focus on the actual end and getting to that point, but just making sure the entire phase itself is of good quality for the patient, but also for the rest of the family as well.
The event was hosted by the Cedar Tree Institute, a nonprofit focused on mental health, interfaith collaboration, and environmental initiatives. Organizers say conversations around illness, caregiving, and loss are often avoided, but they are essential.
This is a hospice awareness program. We are looking to help more people understand all the aspects that are involved with hospice care, with palliative care.
The presentation is part of a larger community learning series exploring hospice care, grief, and the end-of-life journey, with additional sessions scheduled throughout the year.
Palliative care simply means taking comfort care and taking the symptoms that patients have seriously and treating them, no matter what the disease is. Keeping people comfortable, keeping the families connected.
Organizers say the goal is simple, helping people face life's most challenging moments with greater connection, resilience, and hope. In Marquette, John Truitt, WZMQ 19 News.
The Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development has announced a new water infrastructure grant opportunity for county fairs. WZMQ 19's Andrew Hands has more.
It might be easy to wish for summer this time of year, and it's definitely not too early for organizations to plan for their next county fair. The Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development is assisting in those preparations with a new grant program to help grounds in their water systems.
Our main objective is to provide safe and reliable drinking water as well as wastewater infrastructure on fairgrounds for the fairgoer as well as their livestock. Things like water line replacement, new wells, animal watering systems, and sewage and septic upgrades.
The grant builds off of two other programs through MDARD's County Fair Infrastructure Capital Improvement Grants, which since 2019 have helped spread nearly $8 million for new livestock barns and grandstands. During the long summer days, providing accessible water for every human and animal in attendance is a high priority, especially as over 4.5 million people visit through Michigan's 86 county fairs every year. Eligible county-owned and operated fairs must be up to date with MDARD's county fair regulations and can apply for the projects at no cost to their organization.
We're awarding up to $100,000 in individual awards And a really cool thing about that is there's a $0 cash match on all of these. It's live right now. The due date is June 15th. If you are a fairground administrator, go ahead and apply now. And if you are a fair goer, be sure to continue to support your local fair and your farmers.
We'll have more information on applications and funding on our website, WZMQ19.com. Andrew Hands, WZMQ 19 News.
Vice President J.D. Vance visited Michigan today, defending the Trump administration's economic policies as Democrats push back. Our Michigan Capitol correspondent Sophia Murphy has more from Michigan Democrats who were criticizing the administration during the visit.
Vice President J.D. Vance's visit to a manufacturing facility in Auburn Hills comes as economic concerns remain front and center for Michigan voters.
On the way in this morning, gas was $3.99 in East Lansing. The highest I've seen in a very long time.
Michigan Democratic Party Chair Curtis Hertel says costs for everyday essentials have climbed over the past year. He blames policies from President Donald Trump and Vice President Vance, including the administration's conflict with Iran. Vance, meanwhile, told Michiganders the spike in gas prices is a short-term impact of the ongoing conflict.
As a champion of the clean energy laws here in Michigan, I know firsthand how important it is that our state helps lead our country into the future. Unfortunately, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance have done nothing but try to drag us back into the past.
During his speech, Vance highlighted tax cuts and said the administration is working to boost manufacturing jobs. He pointed to recent job gains, though federal data shows mixed trends in the sector over the past year.
This isn't nibbling around the edges. This is just looting family budgets to put that money directly into the pockets of his donors.
The vice president says energy prices will come down in the coming weeks, but Democrats remain skeptical, saying families are already feeling the impact.
Michiganders have seen skyrocketing prices for groceries, healthcare, and utilities, paying over $1,500 more than they would have because of this administration's disastrous agenda.
Republicans say those policies are a part of a broader effort to bring jobs back and lower costs, calling it the start of a Michigan revival. From Michigan's capital, Sophia Murphy, WZMQ 19 News.
The war with Iran sent oil prices spiking again today when Iran said that Israel had attacked a major gas refinery in the Persian Gulf. Senior national security correspondent Charlie Diagata has new developments in the war tonight from Tel Aviv.
Israeli residents are bracing for more Iranian cluster bombs like these that rained down on Tel Aviv and its suburbs overnight and into today. Emergency teams raced to the scene of an attack this afternoon, searching for survivors and surveying the damage. We found walls blown apart, broken glass and debris in every direction. The family wasn't home at the time. Neighbors had time to take shelter moments before impact.
In the past few days, we've seen an increase in the intensity and frequency of these attacks, especially the cluster bombs. There's lots of them, they're hard to defend against, and they can land anywhere.
You have anywhere from 20 to 80 submunitions spreading apart and going over kilometers. Unfortunately, just a few hundred meters from here, the elderly couple were not so lucky last night.
A cluster missile tore through their apartment, killing them both. Israeli police said they were on their way to the bomb shelter, but never made it. Iran has still managed to launch attacks here and across the region, despite weeks of bombardment and airstrikes that killed many of its top leaders, 3 in just the last 2 days. And at a rally in Iran paying tribute to those killed in the war so far, demonstrators set fire to effigies of President Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in defiance.
Israeli military officials had their own message of defiance, saying they'd continue what they called a series of eliminations of senior Iranian officials after announcing earlier they'd killed the regime's head of intelligence.
Kelly Rowland has your first warning weather forecast when we come back. Plus, disruptions at airports around the country continue as TSA workers keep working without pay. And the Federal Reserve leaves consumer interest rates unchanged. We'll have the latest with current Chairman Jerome Powell set to leave the position this May. We'll be right back.
19 News is brought to you by Kirkish Furniture.
Ford Truck Month. Now through March at Fox Marquette Ford. Lease a 2026 F-150 XLT Super Crew 4-wheel drive for $498 a month for 36 months. Fox Marquette Ford. Experience the difference.
Closed captioning sponsored by Range Bank of Upper Michigan.
What's happening?
Living a dream.
So how's it going?
Just living the dream.
Imagine winning $1 million a year for life.
Yep, living the dream.
Introducing the all-new Millionaire for Life game from the Michigan Lottery.
Live outside Marquette County? Recycle 906 is worth the drive. We accept cans, cardboard, plastics, and more. Bring it in. Keep the Upper Peninsula clean. See what we accept at recycle906.com.
Watch the Medical Minute, Thursdays at 6 and 11, only on 19 News. Brought to you by OSF Healthcare.
Houghton's the spot where we get all 4 seasons, the snow, the shine, everything in between. So the shoes are everything. What you have is going to help you perform better, perform longer, stay injury-free longer. Whether you're a runner, walker, or you're just looking for a shoe to get yourself through the day, we'll take an extensive approach to finding the shoe that's right for you. Whatever surface that you're going to be on, we've got you covered.
Home for CBS is WZMQ 19.
Ford Truck Month, now through March at Fox Marquette Ford. Get 0% APR for 60 months, 0 down payment, and 0 payments for 90 days. Plus $1,000 special truck month bonus cash on 2025 Ford F-150, Lightning, and select Super Duty models. Fox Marquette Ford.
Now, WZMQ TV 19 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Kelly Rowland.
And welcome back. Just to give you some perspective, if you've been feeling like we've been really feeling the brunt of Mother Nature's winter wrath, we definitely have, and that blizzard really put us above average. We already were, but the snow total to date, 264 inches for Marquette, and through the entire season, which is July through June, remember it can't cut off in January or else you would have basically inaccurate snow totals because it would cut off in January. So this time last year we were at 143.9, so that just goes to show that not only are we above normal, but we are just soaring past what we should be at this time of the year, and we may even have some more snow in the forecast before we can completely close out that chapter and move on to some warmer weather. We know it sometimes can linger really into May, so it's not out of question to still see some blue on your first warning weather futurecast, but that's going to be maybe within the next hour or so, and most of it may not even reach the ground, but can't rule out a wet snowflake down to Iron Mountain, and it really should be out of here by your morning commute for tomorrow. And it's still going to be some slow roadways, slow commutes out there because some of the roads are still covered by the snow. This was, of course, you know, an immense amount of snow over a certain amount of time, so the road crews are still trying to catch up on all of that. And then for late Thursday night and into Friday, this may be a bit of a clipper system that's going to bring us some rain and snow mix, and that's going to be because on Friday we actually get some warmer temperatures, so that's the time where the precipitation will be confused on what it wants to be because we have different temperature profiles going on. It might melt a little bit before actually hitting the ground, so things might be icy on Friday to kick off the official start of spring, but we at least keep those snow chances way down to that low range for most of your day. Tomorrow, again, that overnight is where we're expecting that wintry mix, and it's a wintry mix, but it's really to kick off spring. So can you call it a springtime mix? I don't know. It's going to be a mixture of rain and snow. So again, we're 2 days away from the official spring equinox, or the vernal equinox, if you will, and that's right at 10:46 a.m. and you can cheers to that. This is actually what's going to be happening. Equinox is actually that Latin origin for equal, where you get those equal day and equal nights. It's not exactly 12 hours and 12 hours. Yesterday it was pretty close to it, but that's exactly coming at 10:46. The days become a little bit longer, especially at higher latitudes, and remember, we're working towards those longer amounts of daylight closer to summer, and the sun's rays are directly over the equator, so that's also good news too. When you get that sunshine, it's actually going to feel warmer because you get more of that direct sunlight. And just really quickly, equinox versus equilux, the reason why it's not exactly on the equinox where it's 12 and 12 is sometimes there's atmospheric refraction goes on where it almost appears like the sun is still out there when it actually set. All in all, what you need to know is we start spring on Friday, and that's when we're working towards those longer amounts of daylight. It's going to feel really nice, especially when we get some more snow in the forecast. We'll have a bit of that for Sunday as we close out the weekend, and then we'll have a much more dry start to the week ahead, but still cold into the lower 30s.
Kelly, thank you very much. With about 10% of TSA agents calling out sick each day, security lines are getting longer at many airports. Hundreds of other agents have simply quit as the government shutdown forces them to go without pay. Chris Van Cleve is following the story from Phoenix.
Flyers like Reggie Monsanto took no chances ahead of his flight out of the Atlanta airport on Wednesday, where it took more than an hour to get through security.
It's a 45-minute flight, and we got up at 6 to get on a flight at 2.
Austin Hebert packed to fight the boredom.
Because I was told to be here 4 hours early, I took a 200-page book and grabbed a 600-page book.
The heightened delays at airports across the country come as 50,000 TSA officers are working without pay amid the partial government shutdown. Food pantries are popping up at airports for TSA employees to pick up food, hygiene items, and infant supplies.
When you're having your officers tell you that they can't afford rent or they can't afford childcare, that weighs on you. And
Cameron Cochums is the lead TSA officer in Boise, Idaho.
I want people just to really think about when they're in line at the airport. You're waiting in line because government can't do their job, and it's ruining people's lives.
In Congress, Republicans and Democrats are deadlocked over immigration reform and unable to pass a funding bill for the Department of Homeland Security.
I actually don't know how you would sleep at night, knowing that you're hurting families like that.
Rather than stop a cruel deportation machine that is terrorizing American communities, Trump and Republicans chose to shut down DHS.
Acting Deputy TSA Administrator Adam Stahl tells CBS News if staffing problems persist, entire airports could possibly shut down.
This will get worse. This will not get better.
Closures are more likely to affect smaller airports if they happen. But in Philadelphia, 3 of the 6 TSA checkpoints closed on Wednesday.
Today, Texas Senator John Cornyn introduced the End Special Treatment for Congress at Airports Act, which would require members of Congress to undergo the same TSA screening procedures as everyone else. The Federal Reserve is holding interest rates steady with uncertainty about the state of the economy and stubborn inflation. President Trump has been pushing for cuts, but the global financial impact of the Iran war is now a concern for the Fed. Bradley Blackburn has more.
Fed Chairman Jerome Powell stepped in front of cameras Wednesday and said what many expected.
Today, the FOMC decided to leave our policy rate unchanged.
The Federal Reserve is keeping its benchmark interest rate steady at a range of 3.5 to 3.75%, as policymakers point to concerns over inflation and slowing employment, as well as the war with Iran and rippling economic effects.
The implications of events in the Middle East for the U.S. economy are uncertain. In the near term, higher energy prices will push up overall inflation, but it is too soon to know the scope and duration of the potential effects on the economy.
The pinch on oil supplies is sending gas prices skyrocketing, and there is no relief in sight for home buyers who need a mortgage.
Mortgages have spiked up above 6.3. We saw as high as 6.41 last Friday. That's hurting borrowers in a big way. And I think it's demotivating for many people who want to be buying.
President Trump has pushed for more interest rate cuts, but Fed watchers say the central bank is focused on the data to prevent the stagflation the country saw in the 70s with stalled economic growth, high inflation, and high unemployment.
If the labor market were to deteriorate significantly, they'll cut rates again. But if we see inflation remain above the Fed's target, they may not do anything.
Ahead of Wednesday's Fed decision, President Trump posted on social media, "When is too late, Powell lowering interest rates?" Powell is set to be replaced as chair when his term ends in May. He will lead the Fed board's next meeting in April.
If President Trump's nominee is not confirmed by the Senate, Jerome Powell says he will continue to serve in the role. Last week, a federal judge stepped in to stop the Department of Justice subpoenas investigating Powell's handling of a multi-billion-dollar Fed renovation project. The DOJ is appealing the decision. Mike Ludlam has your look at sports. When we come back, the Ishpeming girls basketball team looks to continue their tournament run and get a chance to return to the Breslin Center. We'll have the highlights from their game today when we come back.
Want to learn the value of your property? If you own a property and want to explore selling it, let us help you realize the maximum value of your asset. So when you're looking to sell real estate anywhere in the UP, trust the people who know it best. Contact Northern Michigan Land Brokers today.
Chips or cracks, we've got your back. Brian's Auto Glass.
Cracked windshield, chipped glass? Don't wait. Call Brian's Auto Glass in Nagani. We specialize in expert windshield replacement, chip and crack repairs, and safety system calibrations to keep your vehicle road ready. Can't come to us? No problem. We'll come to you with our mobile service. Fast, professional, local. Brian's Auto Glass, where clear vision starts.
Thursday. My shoes are off because I'm done. Jamie Lee Curtis.
They looked good on my feet, but you know what? The truth is, 95% of my day I'm barefoot.
She's here for a good time.
Oh, yes.
Plus, from Outlander, Katrina Balfe. Next, Kelly.
Did you see Freakier Friday? Because if it's Freakier Friday, then I can sing.
Well, I'll be able to act.
The Kelly Clarkson Show, tomorrow at 5 on WZMQ CBS. Here's your WZMQ CBS This is Home Community Calendar.
Northern Michigan Land Brokers are your local experts in Upper Peninsula real estate. Let our experienced staff help you locate and purchase the property of your dreams. So when you're looking to buy real estate anywhere in the UP, trust the people who know it best. Contact Northern Michigan Land Brokers today.
Good evening, everyone. The recent winter storm may have had an effect on the Ishpeming Hematites, but the one-day delay of their Division IV girls basketball quarterfinal against Indian River Inland Lake shows that wasn't the case. Here's proof from Gaylord High School. We'll start in quarter number one, logically enough, and for Inland Lakes, Chloe Robinson up court, Addison Byrne inside to Ava Belford, and she's going to let Maya Hemmer go past and go in for the layup and a 2-0 Bulldogs lead. Hematites tie the score. Janessa Eagle inbounds to Maya Hemmer, who fakes the pass back and goes in for the layup, tied at 2. Inland Lakes takes the lead again. Inbound pass goes to Mary Myshak, and her feet are set for that three-pointer. The Bulldogs take a 5-2 advantage. Jump to later in the quarter. Eagle drives, misses, grabs her own rebound. Passes to Ava Jo Hares, one dribble and swish. Hematites up 9-8. They were up 15-10 after 8 minutes. Second quarter. Maya Hemmer returns a pass to Janessa Eagle. That's a switch for 3. Eagle topped the Hematites with 27 points. Next, Hemmer yo-yos her defender, then goes down the lane for the layup. She had 21, 20-10 Ishpeming. After an Eagle scoop and score, Hemmer put in a layup. Then the Eagles knocked down this 3-ball, and Eagle knocks down the 3-ball. 27-10, the rout is on. Hemmer and Eagle were both on the bench with 2 fouls late in the second quarter. No big deal. Frankie Stetson with a 3. 39-11 at the break and no let-up in the third. Hemmer to Ava Jo Hares for 3. It's 42-11. A few minutes later, Brittany Pietrowski to Frankie Stetson for a lefty layup. 54-12 Hematites. Between the second and third quarters, Ishpeming outscored Inland Lakes 45-4. Ishpeming waltzes to the semifinal with a 60-22 victory over Inland Lakes. So let's talk about tomorrow, shall we? Ishpeming will take on number 1 Morenci in the first game of the semifinal at 5:30. Bulldogs, as you see, 26-1. Yes, they're playing Bulldogs for the second game in a row. In the other half of this bracket, Onekama, the Portagers at 19-7, will take on Portland St. Patrick. That game should start around 7:30, and the finals Saturday morning are at 10 o'clock. The Michigan Tech men's basketball team is resting just a little bit before starting on their next assignment. The Huskies beat Walsh 87-70 last night to win their first Midwest regional title. Marcus Tomashik scored 33 points with 7 3-pointers to make life miserable for the Cavaliers and their fans. Even Marcus's teammates knew it was going to be one of those nights for the opponents.
Marcus started off nuclear, so kind of just tried to play off him. You know, it helps a lot when we run a set and he comes off, gets doubled, and Flynn would run stuff for me, so I was just taking advantage of my opportunities.
It's kind of fun being at a point here. We had such a high expectation of this group, and we were taking everybody's best shot. We were picked first. We've been ranked all year, and we prepared when we played one of the toughest schedules in the country. And we've seen, I don't know the scores tonight, but there was 3 teams we played already still in the Sweet 16.
Michigan Tech will be the 6th seed in the Elite 8, which takes place in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The Huskies will face 3rd seeded Gannon on Wednesday, March 25th. The game will be the first game of the day at noon. By the way, Tomashik, Nepgezik, and Nate Abel were all named to the Midwest Region team, with Tomashik the most valuable player. Michigan Tech hockey senior defenseman Jack Anderson has signed a 2-year entry-level NHL contract with the Dallas Stars organization. Anderson was an undrafted free agent, 129 NCAA games with 49 points. He was an alternate captain with the Huskies this season, 24 points in 39 games. Anderson will report to the Texas Stars of the American Hockey League for the remainder of the year. The contract will begin in the 2026-27 season. Anderson was named the 2026 CCHA Defensive Defenseman of the Year, also on the All-CCHA first team. He transferred to Michigan Tech for this past season after playing his first 3 years at Lindenwood. Anderson played in all 26 conference games for Tech, ranking 5th in CCHA defensemen with more than 23 minutes per game. He was a +11, which was second best in the conference. The Michigan State men's basketball team meets North Dakota State in the first round of the NCAA Division I tournament tomorrow in Buffalo. The Spartans lost guard Divine Ogochukwu to a season-ending injury a couple weeks ago, but head coach Tom Izzo says he needs help from his bench anytime he can get it.
Last year, our whole battle cry was strength in numbers, and we had numbers, and we just kept rotating people in there. It's not been quite the same this year, even though we are utilizing our subs. But I think Cam Ward is going to be very, very important. I think Denham's going to be important to help us. I think Kerr is really playing better, Kerr Tang, and if he's making shots, that help us. And I think Jesse McCullough, you always need a big man. And so we got 4 guys that we're going to be playing a lot.
Tip-off tomorrow, 4:05 Eastern, 3:05 Central Time on TNT. Of course, the University of Michigan is the top seed in the Midwest region of this in Buffalo tomorrow against Howard. Head coach Dusty May says his team hasn't been in many close games this season.
This year we had so many blowouts. We weren't in very many close games, so we didn't get to learn as much about ourselves as we did in the Big Ten tournament. And, obviously we're still doing deep dives and when we've played well and when we haven't and what's been the difference. And I think we've been getting 15 to 20 possessions less over the last month of the season than we got before that. And so teams have slowed down tempo. Teams have tried to restrict our freedom of movement. They've tried to get more physical with us. And so we haven't adjusted to that rugged play as well as we need to if we're going to be as good as anyone in the country.
Tip-off for this game is 7:10 Eastern, 6:10 Central Time, right here on WZMQ 19. We will be right back.
Ford Truck Month, now through March at Fox Marquette Ford. Lease a 2026 F-150 XLT Super Crew 4-wheel drive for $498 a month for 36 months. Fox Marquette Ford. Experience the difference.
Welcome to Car Breakdowns 101. I'm your Professor Ice-T. If your car is out of warranty, a car breakdown could eat you alive. Look at that car. The transmission alone could cost you $3,000. And that engine? How much do you love your kidneys? Don't even get me started on the computer system. That's a small fortune. Do what I did and call CarShield. They get expensive car repairs taken care of so you don't have to. Class dismissed.
Call 800-859-0084.
The Shortlist, a countdown show that's all sports. See the greatest names and the greatest games in all sports. Sports fans love it, and you will too. That's The Shortlist, only from SSN, the Cindy Sports Network.
Sophia Murphy reports at 6 and 11 on WZMQ 19 News.
Ford Truck Month, now through March. At Fox Marquette Ford, get 0% APR for 60 months, 0 down payment, and 0 payments for 90 days. Plus 1,000 special Truck Month bonus cash on 2025 Ford F-150, Lightning and select Super Duty models. Fox Marquette Ford.
Hi, I'm Jamie Farr. Sir! We military doctors worked hard to save lives every day. From the battlefield to the operating room, we did our best.
Hey!
What?
You weren't a doctor.
But I played one on TV.
No, you didn't play one on the show either.
Oh, that's right. I was a nurse.
Weekdays and Sundays at 7 on MeTV 19.1.
I'm Sophia Murphy at the Capitol in Lansing, only on WZMQ 19 News.
A final check of your forecast. We have a very seasonal day on the way for tomorrow. We should be at 36 for that high, and we will very much see that, especially for us into Marquette, even a little bit warmer as we get down towards Menominee. We'll get some more sunshine, even out to Ironwood, some upper 40s. Don't know if we'll squeeze out of 50, probably not. Just bank on mid 30s and a few 40s out there. Snow outlook will be very low for the next 24 hours or so. We get a little bit of a wintry mix, a little clipper system for the overnight of Thursday going into Friday. Then we should be in the clear at least for the rest of Friday. But this little wintry mix might have some of that ice component, especially as it clips the Munising area down towards Manistee. So it might be a bit of an icy evening commute, or any plans that you may have on Friday night. Just watch out for any potential ice happening. Slightly colder temperatures shows us that there's still that battle happening. Winter doesn't want to quite budge its spot, even though it turns to spring on Friday. It's going to be very few short-lived spring-like temperatures because we're back to the cold into the lower 30s with a few more snow showers.
Kelly, thank you. And now to a story about hot dogs. Mike, it's not the kind you eat. We're talking about the nation's most popular breeds of canines. The American Kennel Club has released a list of the nation's most popular dog breeds. For the 4th consecutive year, the French Bulldog remains top of the heap, followed by Labrador Retrievers, Golden Retrievers, and German Shepherds. And rounding out the top 5 are Dachshunds, making the first time wiener dogs have ranked that high in over 2 decades. The top dog standings are based on the number of puppies and older purebreds added to the AKC registry in the last year. Mike, quickly, anything else?
Miami of Ohio, basketball, winners tonight, 89-79 over SMU, so they're in the tournament officially now.
Good stuff. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you back here tomorrow.
Now through March at Fox Marquette Chevrolet. Lease a 2026 Chevrolet Equinox LT all-wheel drive for $379 a month for 36 months. Together, let's drive. Fox Marquette Chevrolet. Experience the difference.
Update your home with new GE appliances from Kirkish Furniture and Houghton. GE appliances are built to last, have print-resistant finishes, and offer high performance with energy efficiency.